coolly played out by Stubbs to O'Donnell. It's a good one by Simon Donnelly. In for Henrik Larsson, and Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic! 12 minutes gone, and Josef Vanglas, his fellow Slovakian, leads the applause. A superb finish, and Celtic's decision to push Moravcik up front pays
Tim's in our podcast tonight. We are joined by one of Celtic's cult heroes over the last 20 years or so. A player that came to Celtic at the later part of his career and wowed fans for 4 years until he retired for football. Of course, I'm talking about Lubo Moravcik. Lubo, it's great to have you on the show. How are you doing?
Okay, fine. Good evening.
Lubo, just to start, you came to Celtic as a bit of an enigma. What we really want to know is, what foot were you naturally strongest with?
Originally, I'm a right footer. When I came because I wasn't happy in Germany. For that, I came to Celtic because because I had a deal with Duisburg 2 years, and after 4 months, I wasn't happy. I didn't want to continue to play football in Germany, and what happened? Mr. Vanglas gave me the opportunity,
Yeah. See, you were at Duisburg. You were 33 when you came to Celtic. Did you ever have a chance to go to a big team in Europe during your career, like at Etienne or Bastia?
My career wasn't so easy because. I started playing Premier League in Czechoslovakia when I was 21, and I've never been in the youngs 19, 18, 17. I never been in national team. I wasn't what I can say. I wasn't the big guy who. Everybody say it's gonna be big football player. That my career was really step by step. I made progress, and 25. I was 25, 4 years after I played World Cup. Until 21, my career was very slow. After start the step start to be quicker. And when I was 25, I went to France. And, between 25 and 30 is only 5 years. It's not easy, find or play well and find big club, Now the players, big players start play 20, 21 in the good league. And after, it's more chance to play for the big club. And
yep.
And when I was 27, I had offer from Marseille to move, but I was under contract. I couldn't move without, agreement with the president of the club of Saint Etienne, and he said,
yep.
I don't want to let you go, and I signed the deal. I extended my deal for another 4 years. And it was like for me over to find the big club after, and its career 10 years is going very quickly, and 5 years it's only 5 seasons to have to find the big club. It's not easy,
Yep.
From Czechoslovakia signed big club, the biggest club in Europe. That is the problem.
Yeah, before you moved to Celtic, did you have an idea of how big the club were?
Yeah, of course, because in France we had a Canal Plus, where every Sunday we had a highlights from England, from Scotland, from Spain, Germany. I watched the highlights of, especially when all team game was in the weekend, was on the TV more longer highlights. For that I knew than Celtic Rangers. It's a very big game in Europe.
When you signed for Celtic, were you aware that the media had made you into a bit of a kind of has-been, that you were too old to come and play for Celtic? Were you made aware of that?
If somebody come from France, especially last 2 years I played in Bastia after I wasn't successful in Germany. I was 33. Everyone was not so happy to, especially who wanted maybe to see somebody else, somebody younger, somebody maybe with the bigger name. And but Mr. Wenger, I think I was working with him in national team during the 4 years, and he knew very well who I am, what I'm able to do, and he didn't. I think he took a little bit risk, but he knew then I'm not very expensive, and I was fit. Even for 33, I was good form physically, and end of the day, I proved then the media was wrong,
Absolutely. Do you remember your first game? I think it was against Dundee at Celtic Park. I was actually at it, and I think you set a goal up by crossing the ball in with the outside of your right foot. And I remember my dad saying to me that guy's a player.
Yeah, I remember that game, and I remember that cross with right foot, and outside of right foot, I put on the head on Henrik Larsson, I think. Yeah, it's what I said. I was talented player, but on my beginning, I wasn't strong enough physically, and after when I became physically stronger, I worked hard. Especially I worked hard. My left foot, and one of the day I played World Cup. I was 25. That is. You imagine if you start in the small club, 21 years old, small team, small club in Czechoslovakia, and 4 years after you play against Mateus, against Breme, against Klinsmann, against the world champion quarterfinal. That is exception for me. My story is sometimes when I'll go back in my memory, I say it's unbelievable what happened. It's unbelievable. To be honest, I never been expected one day play World Cup when I was 20, for example.
You say how good an experience was playing at World Cup as someone under, I think it was under Czechoslovakia.
I have to say another thing. For example, Czechoslovakia became after revolution became a country with more freedom. We could move to the foreign country abroad, play the football. Until 25, I couldn't move, and I was lucky because the revolution came when I was 25. Imagine some of my colleagues, very good players, who was already about 30, 31, over 30. It was finished for them to move the abroad. That is. Sometimes you have to be the right time, right moment. That it's and right place. That is. I was, First, I was not so lucky because I couldn't move earlier, but 25, it was still time, to move. And World Cup was really very good time because 89 November was revolution, and June 90 we played World Cup and moved to Saint-Etienne. That was perfect timing,
Yep. So you really announced yourself at Celtic against Rangers in a scoreline that no one will ever forget in a 5-1 game. You scored your first goal for Celtic that day. Can you remember very much about the occasion?
I was a little bit under pressure, to be honest, because that game is very attended, very whole Europe watching that game, and for me, as a player who wasn't really accepted by newspaper, by fans, maybe. To be honest, even with a lot of experience, I was a little bit under pressure. It's normal because every game when you go, you always a little bit under pressure. But during the game, if you confident, you lose that pressure, and maybe first 20 minutes wasn't really. I don't remember the first minute, but the goal when the ball came, it was really when I say right moment, and that goal I think changed completely my life. That is and also gave me to the freedom play my football, my best football. That it's story.
You looked almost shocked when you scored the goal. Describe your emotions when the ball hit the back of the net.
Yeah. That's what I say. My emotion was a little bit blocked, because to be honest, imagine if you come the country when no really people accept you, and now you play the game where you have to prove you're very good player or you good player, and I was too much concentrate about what I want to do, and I couldn't find emotion to show how happy I am in the situation, and maybe in my back mind, maybe it was also a little bit some like protest. I something like, now you can see what I am able to do, what you are so hard with me. You know what I mean? It's something difficult to show emotion, and same time show everybody. Now you see what Moravcik is able to do.
Yep. You added another goal in that game, which was a terrifically executed header. Do you think that you were a better header of the ball than you ever got credit for?
My I'm not tall. I'm small guy, and I think I never been a player who was all the time on the box and looking ball for a header, but I'm able to make a good header because when I'm free, I was completely free. Nobody was around me. After it's easy to jump and put the ball on the goal. That it's because I have timing, but I can't go for a challenge with the big center back. It's not a chance, But when I'm free, it's easy.
That was obviously a big occasion. Did you recognise the importance of it at the end of the game?
Yeah. Absolutely. To be honest, Mr. Vengros, before the game, he explained to me, he prepared me mentally. He told me what important is for him, for me, but he tried to give me or put the pressure out of me, but it was not easy to be quiet and say it's nothing. It's a normal game. It's not normal game. It's all filmy game, and I was really happy end of the game because 5-1 when Rangers was really very good team, and especially Rangers been dominated in the Scottish League for a long time, except season before or season when Celtic won the league, but still was big Rangers.
Yeah, they did have a very good team back then. How good a Celtic team was that? Because we didn't win anything that year, but we still had some great players like Henrik Larsson at the top of the mind. What was it like to play with him?
You know, I knew Henrik Larsson because he played World Cup 1994 in America, and he was part of the team who won bronze medal, and he played very well for Feyenoord. I saw him played maybe twice before when I came to Celtic, but after when you play with him, it's a completely different story because I didn't find on him some weak some problems in football. He was quick. He played very well with head, left foot, right foot, free kick, penalty. He was absolutely that time one of the best or top striker in the Europe, and he proved after in the Manchester United, in Barcelona, he's absolutely top quality because and especially he was a very good guy, very good mentality in the dressing room, very modest, very kind and friendly, simple, and but on the game very strong.
When Dr. Venglos left Celtic, did you? Well, first you get injured at Fir Park. Was that the last time you played under Dr. Venglos?
Yeah, that you know that was a little bit bad break for me because it was before end of the season and especially before the FA Cup final, and to be honest, that was that stopped my good form, that injury, because to be honest, I wasn't really good on the game when we lost cup final 1-0, and that was a little bit bad finish for me this season, because I started very well, I was good form, and this injury came very bad moment for me, and I couldn't win this game against Rangers last game on the season. That was for me disappointing, really.
And then that summer, because we narrowly lost out to Rangers that year, that summer Dr. Venglos left. Did you think that you might follow him out of Celtic Park?
You know, Mr. Venglos is a very honest people, very honest guy, because he always, when he come to new club, he signed only one season, and after when he see then it's you know, he's very honest, really guy who doesn't want to push the people to keep him, you know that, and he's always go away with he doesn't expect more than, you know, that it's he was always like that. He didn't push the people to sign him new deal for. He always say, he tried to. I don't know. I never speak about him. Why he with him? Why he left Celtic? So to be honest, that is maybe a question next time to ask him why he moved. But he's like that. He doesn't feel 100% sure he moved. You know.
Yep. When John Barnes and Kenny Dalglish came in, were you aware that Kenny Dalglish was a Celtic legend, that he had such a great standing at the club?
To be honest, my first touch with Kenny was really, for me, surprised. I found the guy who is really gentle, good mentality, a lot of happiness about around him. I was surprised because he was really big player, because won with Liverpool all titles. He was, for me, his generation, maybe one top 5 players in his generation. With the guys like Platini, Cruyff. I think he's at that level player, and he was a really nice guy. And after, when John Barnes left, he took the team, and we won my first title with the League Cup, and I saw him. He was very happy, and that season wasn't good, but end of the season we won that League Cup. What was a little small satisfaction.
How did that feel for you, winning your first honour at the age of 34?
I never played in the big club, and when I came to Celtic, my first season, we had 10 points behind. We've been 10 points behind Rangers. I didn't know how it's going to be next season. I never won anything before, and when I won next year my first title, I was very happy, and I didn't expect then one day come the Mr. Martin O'Neill, and he will be 2 years absolutely top team in Scotland, and even we played Champions League. That was, to be honest, I didn't expect that, to be honest.
When Martin O'Neill came in, how quickly did you realise that things were about to change and that there was going to be a lot more success at Celtic?
That was not for me a good beginning with Martin, because I came later to the pre-season. I didn't come to Scotland. I gone directly to Denmark, and my first touch with him was really strange, because he asked me to run as a left back, up and down 80 yards, and after the game he told me I was shite, and I said next day, or after, when we came back to Scotland, I came to see him. I told him, sorry, I'm not left back, because I can run. I'm 35. I can run 80 yards up and down, And he asked me, what is my position? I said, listen, Gaffer, I'm a playmaker. That is, in France we call that position number 10. And if you want to use me there, I will be very happy to stay in Celtic. But if you doesn't want me, I move. I don't want to stay here and play left back. To be honest, that is not my position. And after he gave me chance play, I think in Luxembourg, I scored 2 goals, and he understood. Then Lubo is number 10. I keep him. That was story, and after we've been we had a very good relationship with him, and I think he was a very intelligent guy. He gave me a lot of confidence, and I played many games with the team where was a big competition, because came Petrov, Lennon, Lambert. It was not easy to play every game, but I think I played many games, and Martin, end of the day, was happy with me. I was happy also. That was my best 2 years in my career.
You'll be glad that he did move you to number 10, because you played a starring role in the 6-2 game, which happened about a month into the first season. Tell us your emotions during that game, because we as Celtic fans, at that point we were quite young, us four, but like others had been brought up to see Celtic lose a lot to Rangers. So to be 3 goals up inside 15 minutes, I think did you set all 3 of them up? Am I correct? You assisted them?
To be honest, I never I think that game I really appreciate because I took a lot of pleasure on this game. To be honest, that was crazy game because 8 goals in the whole film was absolutely, the people was on the fire, on the stand all the time, was on the moving. Nobody was sitting on the seat. That was crazy game. And I remember I set up goal for Paul Lambert. Absolutely great because I can say I made dribbling and Ferguson fall down, and I put really ball for Paul, who was on the run, and scored fantastic goals. That was really, to be honest, that game for me was 100% better than game when I scored 2 goals, because that game was really crazy atmosphere. To be honest, the atmosphere what I had in football was, I think, this game, because the people was all the time of the moving. Stadium was on the fire. That was fantastic game.
Did that win give you the confidence to go on and obviously win the treble that year? Was that a big marker for the players?
Of course. We played well, and plus the new players came, very good players, because Chris Sutton was, I think, one season was the best scorer in the English Premiership, and that it's absolutely for me was fantastic signing, because Sutton was a top player in the English league, and I didn't know really Didier Agathe, because Didier Agathe played in France, but he was 7 years younger than 10 years younger than me. I don't remember him when he started his career in Montpellier, but he was fantastic player with very strange also career, because he went to Great Britain by the car with his friend, and he was training in the park, and his career started in the park in England, and end of the day he came to Celtic and played fantastic 5-7 years. I don't remember how many he spent, how many seasons, but and especially he became my best friend in the Celtic, because I share a room with him. He was my roommate, and he was absolutely gentle guy. I keep touch with him even now. Still, I was also in Réunion in his house. He's very perfect people, perfect guy, and what his quality was exceptional, because one day Henrik said, "I never seen in my life the guy who ran so quick." He said, and Henrik, he saw a lot of good players, but the quicker than Didier on the football pitch, I never seen.
After that, another big moment for you that year was your goal against Bordeaux. Now, I watched Lubo, A Gift from God, and you talk about how it was important for you to score, especially with the people of France watching. Although we went out that night, was that one of your better moments in a Celtic jersey?
To be honest, I don't remember really this game. I remember that goal because it was a strange goal, because I kicked ball and the goalkeeper tried to catch it, but end of the day finished in the goal. And on the bench of Bordeaux was the guy who was my coach in the Celtic, in Saint-Etienne, Elie Bob. It was my friend. But I didn't. I don't remember. I didn't play very well this game, especially after we played Bordeaux. For me, European campaign was a little bit over, to be honest. Because after when we played Champions League, Martin was very gentle with me because he gave me chance to play last game against Juventus. But I was in the age where the youngest gone through, and the European campaign was the team was stronger than the Scottish League. The football was completely different. We didn't, my role in Celtic was special because Celtic was dominated, and that was my part of the game. Around the penalty box, in the make the crosses for the goals. That was my game. But in European game, we didn't dominate. And I should run a lot of defense, a lot. That was not game for me anymore. I was, to be honest, I wasn't good like that. It was, Celtic for my age, for my quality was perfect because I play Scottish League where Celtic were very, and I made very good game against Juventus. That because that was like you say, that is last chance for me in my life play well in European game, and I did everything. I done everything on this game, and but it was only one game. I couldn't do more game like that. One over, finish, go home.
Now, in the treble season,
treble season was absolutely perfect because Martin set up very good atmosphere on the team. Team started well. Lennon came. He was very important for the group, for the dressing room, on the pitch. Really, guy who was always encourage everybody to play well. That he was always shouting, you have to, organize the team on the dressing room, on the pitch. And we started to win, and we played well, and atmosphere was good on the dressing room. And to be honest, I was very happy that I was part of this team. Even I didn't play all the time, but it was really perfect season with a lot of pleasure, a lot of good games. People understand very happy. The fans all around working well. That was and we had a very good team. What you said, Sutton came, Harton after that. It's great players. I don't. To be honest, the top players from England came to Celtic. That is not the case now. It's finished. I think the top player from England never come to Celtic again. That was last time when we played treble.
Yeah, absolutely. That season you scored a goal against St Johnstone from the corner flag. Now, be honest, Lubo, did you mean it?
I tell you something. That type of that goal, it's something like you put the ball before the goal and finish on the top corner. That is not because I thinking when Didier push me the ball, I go to put on the no. I said I try to do something strong before the goal and finish on the top corner. That is. Sometimes you don't know how you do it, but you do it. That is explain like that. I can't say anything more. If it's easy, I do that every day, but it's not easy. It's just
you made it look very
easy. Little bit chance, little bit because you want to try something, but it's but it's nice because everybody remembers that.
Yeah, there's a big debate whether it was intentional or not. The following season would prove to be your last at Celtic. Now, you've mentioned it before, but the standout really was the game against Juventus at Celtic Park, and I think Pavel Nedved said it was a privilege to share the pitch with his hero, who happened to be you. Uh, how just to talk us through that night, because that was a wild night in which Celtic ended up going out despite winning 4-3.
You know, what I said before, just a few seconds before I said, that was my last chance to play well in European game. I said, Lubo, concentrate. I was, you know, I didn't play all the time. For that, I was I can say, very happy to play again, start the game. Physically, I was well. I wasn't injured. I was mentally good on my head. But what we have to say, it was not a lot of chance to go through because, to be honest, Juventus came as a first team on the table, and the Porto play home against, I don't know, Trondheim, I don't know, and we have a little bit chance to go through if Porto draw the game. But Juventus maybe came a little bit, Celtic easy, we play just a little small game in Europe, you know. But Celtic was that time strong, and we tried to do the best game, try to win, still keep chance to move, to go through to the group, you know. But for that, everything was, you know, for me it was what I said, last chance to play good game in European. It was my last game. That was my something like bonus, you know, something like bonus for me for my career. Play this game.
That was probably your last big moment at Celtic. When did you decide that you were going to leave the club?
Even I think when I remember even before the season, because my season when we won treble was good, but I felt then I'm not start 11 player, and I was during my career I was always start 11 player. You know that after it's not easy to accept stay on the bench and wait for your chance. I did first season because Martin gave me a lot of opportunity to play a lot of games, and I saw then next season it's gonna be hard because I'm older, come maybe to new players. That I said maybe that is good decision make last game. But you forget I played also in Ibrox. I scored 2 goals. That was my last big game for Celtic.
Yeah, we were going to bring that up later, but seeing as you did, were you aware that was the first? Because obviously you played a few times there. Were you aware that was Celtic's first victory there in nearly 7 years?
To be honest, when I came to that game, I didn't expect to play. To be honest, because you know I knew already how Martin think about the big game. He was the best team, you know, strong team in the middle. Paul Lambert, Petro, Lennon, you know, and you know, my part of the game was especially home game when we need to push the team, you know, and push up and play in the penalty box and score the goals, set up the goals. And finally, when he told my name, I wasn't sure. Then I heard properly, you know. I said, "Lubo, Moravcik, he said, because he always said first 11 play. And I asked after Wally, he said my name. I can't play because he didn't tell me during the, sometimes he told me during the week, and you will start Saturday or Sunday. But that week he said nothing, absolutely nothing. And after he told my name, I said, fine, I go to play. I try to do my best, because I wasn't prepared to play that game, And I didn't know, and we didn't win a long time in Ibrox. That absolutely, I didn't make attention on that history when the Celtic long time didn't win, and I played. I scored 2 goals, and that was really on the image when you see the goal. How I was laughing. That is my last best game for Celtic, and finished. I go home. Finished. Enough, because to be honest, Martin came to me and said, Lubo, if you want, you can stay another season. And but Mr. Vengos was already in Japan 6 months. And he called me. He said, Lubo, come to rejoin me to Japan for 6 months. And after, definitely my decision was move to Japan and try to play again something different, especially with Mr. Vengos, to help him for the second part of the season. But it was bad decision because I got bad injury after first game, and I could finish my career by injury. That wasn't good decision, but it's football like that. I was 37. I wasn't so young to finish that. But it's story over. Finish.
Who was apart from Henrik Larsson, who was the best player you played with at Celtic?
I can mention a lot of players, because if you see, for example, Mjelby, how he been working hard every day, and how he played with heart, he gave every day, every weekend the best. That it's absolutely it's a lot of experience for me when I saw the players like him. Saturn, fantastic player. Hartson, fantastic. Alan, left footer. Alan
Thompson.
How is his name? Alan Thompson. Fantastic left foot. Brilliant left foot. Petrov, great player. Petrov. Stillian, a perfect guy. Lambert. The worst was Lennon. the worst player was Lennon. I told him, you've been the worst player in the Celtic. No, but he had different quality, He wasn't a spectacular player. He was a hard worker. He was running. He was closing every space. He was everywhere, like Doc. He was so.
Absolutely.
I didn't want to play against him, but he didn't want to. He never put the ball out of the, or never passed out of the feet like me, cross, never chance, because he always he had always same pass, same right foot, never used left foot. No, but he's a nice guy, and especially good coach, because Celtic is very good now. Again, top of the league. It's perfect. I think with the Rangers this season it's not easy, but Celtic keep well and play well. I think Lennon brought again Celtic strong to Celtic Park. I think this season is gonna be again successful, and that is very important.
Thanks very much for joining me, Lubo. I'm going to bring you in to Tony, who's going to ask you a few questions.
Tony, what question?
Yes. What was your favourite game as a Celtic player, and also what is your favourite goal as a Celtic player?
What I said, 6-2. That was my top game, because not only because we won 6-2, because we played well, good atmosphere on the stadium. The fans was absolutely crazy. That everything was a very special game for me. And after, when I can, if you remember the game when we won 3-0 in Ibrox, that goal what I scored when I put from left to right, and I scored goal for 2-0. I think that you can see that it was big happiness for me. That goal, I think, made me really happy man.
Yeah, two great games, two historic games in the club's history. Darren's got a question for you.
One thing I wanted to ask, you spoke about your pleasure and pride at playing in the Champions League. What was the atmosphere like? We always hear from opposition players that play in the Champions League at Celtic Park. What's it like as a Celtic player?
I think it's if I can compare atmosphere, for example, with this game 6-2, I think in my mind the 6-2 was better atmosphere than, for example, against Juventus 3 when we won 4-3, because I remember more that game 6-2 than the Juventus, for atmosphere. But for example, when I came to Celtic later, after when I come back for the game, really, for example, atmosphere when Celtic beat Barcelona, it's difficult to compare with the league game. Always the European game, it's something special for Celtic fans. It's also a special atmosphere, and I assist on the stand that game against Barcelona. It was also for me as a fan supporter of Celtic. It was for me big atmosphere, big experience, and something I never forget. That it's because the European games are always special atmosphere in the Celtic Park. You know better than me.
Yeah, this is it. Just the other thing, obviously, with the Celtic squad you played with, there was a lot of players who became managers. He spoke about Neil Lennon, obviously, he's doing a great job, but also the likes of Henrik, Chris had a stint, and likes of Jackie McNamara as well. Were you surprised at how many of your teammates became managers?
What to do after when you finish football? it's not go to a factory and work 8 hours every day. No, it's very hard because we used to play football 20 years. Everybody expect continue to work with the club. As a manager, maybe somebody prefer is better in the youth academy, but everybody, even me, I think wants to become also good coach, because it's a logical following of your life, and that. But it's not easy to do because it's a lot of football players and a few managers' positions. That is a problem. Yeah. It's a lot of competition, but it's not easy to. I tried also the coach. I have also European license, and profi license, and I never became a coach on the Premier League in Slovakia, but it's not easy. You know, I think for the football players, it's the best is to be the player, and after everything after, it's not easy. It's not easy because you have responsibility for the team. You have to manage 25 people. You have to be all the time watching the opposite teams, and if you player, you go to training. You make 2 hours training, and after you have freedom. You can go when you want, but the coach, and especially in Scotland, in England, it's a lot of hard. It's very hard job, and not easy to do.
Yeah, that's absolutely perfect. I'll pass you to Andy.
I just wanted to know who was the toughest opponent that you played against.
Rangers was a very strong team. Not easy play. Every game against Rangers was really tough game, and all the guys like Newman, like Amoroso, very good players, top players, and to beat them wasn't really easy. And when I played World Cup, we play against Germany. To be honest, it was a very hard game. I didn't touch a lot of balls, It was not easy.
Yeah. And the last question I have for you was, how did you find life in Glasgow? Obviously, sort of not being from here, how was it to sort of you come into the melting pot?
I think I like a lot Scotland. Not only Glasgow, whole Scotland, because I was also in the north, Aberdeen, Inverness, and there, Edinburgh, Glasgow, all around Glasgow. And what is more important, I like the mentality of Scottish people, because it's very close to mentality of my people in here in Slovakia. Because it's people open, friendly, like to go out, make the group fun, go to pubs and like football. And it's, to be honest, I spent fantastic 3.5 years in Glasgow and in Scotland. And for example, now I go to Scotland next week again. I go 2-3 times a year to Scotland. I'm always very happy to be back, and I like that atmosphere. Scottish, it's a perfect country. Scotland, Scottish people also, nice people.
Yeah, absolutely. We think so too. But that brings us to the end, Lubo. So we've just got to thank you very much for coming on and having the time to sit and chat with us.
No problem. Okay. Have a nice evening.
Thanks a lot.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lubo.
Everybody. Ciao.
Thanks, Lubo.
Ciao.
Cheers.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Hail. So that was a very good chat with one of the better Celtic players in our lifetime. Certainly one, if you're ever thinking of a cult hero, Lubo would certainly fit that mould. Gave us some great memories, and I think I speak on behalf of all the boys in the podcast when I say I just wish we'd got him at 23 instead of 33. We'll be back with more special guests in the future. And remember to get sold out Danny McGrain night on the 27th of March. We're looking forward to that in Kelly's Bar. If you've got a ticket, then you're very lucky. Pop along. It's going to be a great night. And we'll find out if Danny McGrain was actually Brendan Rodgers' best pal after all. Cheers.
Lubo.
For me, is he one of the best I ever played with. I mean, still to this day, I don't know if it was right-footed or left-footed. I mean, he could hit the ball, free kicks, passes. He was so good, it was unbelievable. I mean, and also a good person. I think that's the most important thing. in the end. Now when you stop playing, it's important that you still are a good person, and I still speak with him every now and then, and his English is not the best, but we understand each other, so that's good. But as a football player, he's probably one of the best I ever played with.
Losing possession in a promising area. And now Celtic do the attacking with Moravcik. Away from White, away from McAllister, and away from Leighton. That's superb from Moravcik. And that's 3 for Celtic. Started the season so well, his form then dipped, and now he's back to his best. The Celtic supporters rise to Lubo Moravcik. Delicious skill and a ferocious shot. Celtic hope they can hold on to him for another season. And when you see ability like this, you can understand why. The points are now secure for Celtic, surely, after one of the goals of the